Salve a tutti,
Welcome
benvenuti
everyone
alla seconda edizione
to
di
the second
Resilienza per il
edition
futuro,
of
una tavola rotonda
Resilience for the
internazionale per
Future, an
promuovere la
international
resilienza
roundtable to
in
promote
tempi di
resilience in
incertezza,
times of
promossa dall'Istituto
uncertainty,
di ricerca in
sponsored
neuroscienze,
by the
educazione
Research
e
Institute of
didattica
Neuroscience, Education and
RINED
Teaching,
e la
RINED,
Fondazione Patrizio
of the Patrizio
Paoletti.
Poletti
Sono Tania Di
Foundation.
Giuseppe,
I am Tania Di
psicologa e
Giuseppe, a
responsabile
psychologist
dell'area
and head of the psychopedagogical
dell'Istituto di
area
ricerca della
of the
Fondazione
Poletti
Foundation.
Foundation Research
Vorrei
Institute.
iniziare proprio
And
con
I would
un
like
grande sentimento di
to
gratitudine
begin
per
by
ringraziare i
really
relatori
expressing my real
presenti che
sincere
hanno
gratitude to all of
scelto
the
di condividere
presenters,
insieme
of
a
the speakers
noi
who've chosen
oggi
to
gli
share
importanti
with us
avanzamenti
today
del loro lavoro di
the important
ricerca.
progress
Grazie
in
di
their
essere
work
qui e di
of
aver
research.
colto
So
questo
thank you for
invito.
being here and for having
Ringraziamo
accepted this
anche i
invitation
colleghi
of
di
ours.
Fondazione Patrizio
We would
Paoletti
also like
che
to
hanno
thank
collaborato
our
affinché l'evento
Quality
potesse
Foundation colleagues who have
realizzarsi.
worked together so that this event
Vorrei
can
mandare
take
da
place.
parte di tutti
And I would
noi
also
e di
like
tutto lo staff di
to, on
Fondazione,
behalf
un
of all of us,
pensiero
of all of the foundation
particolare
staff, to
di
send a
gratitudine a
special
Ilaria
thought of
Barbolini, che
gratitude
ha
to
creduto
Ilaria
molto in questa
Barbolini, who
iniziativa
really
e ha dato un
has believed a lot in
contributo
this initiative and
decisivo
has
alla sua
given a very important
realizzazione.
contribution to making it
Qual è
happen. And
l'obiettivo
so what is
primario di
the key
questo
aim
momento così
of this
speciale insieme e
special moment
perché è
together, and why
importante?
is it important?
Questo evento ha
This
l'obiettivo di
this
promuovere
event
la
has the aim
riflessione, la
of
condivisione sugli
promoting reflection
avanzamenti
and
della
sharing on
scienza
progress in science
nell'ambito
in the
interdisciplinare
interdisciplinary
sul
field
costrutto della
on the
resilienza.
construct of
In un'era
resilience.
segnata da
In an
conflitti
era
globali e
marked by
crisi
global
ambientali
conflicts
in
and
cui
environmental
ancora sono
crises,
vivide
where
le
the
conseguenze
psychosocial
psicosociali della
consequences
pandemia di
of the COVID-19
Covid-19,
pandemic are
le
still vivid,
statistiche sullo stato della salute
statistics
mentale nel
on the state of
mondo
mental health
richiedono
around the world
l'attenzione dei governi e
demand
delle
the
comunità.
attention of governments and
Siamo di
communities.
fronte a molte
We are
sfide,
facing many
come il
challenges,
cambiamento
such as
climatico, la
climate
guerra,
change, war,
l'instabilità
financial and
finanziaria
diplomatic
e
instability,
diplomatica e la possibilità di nuovi
and the
pandemie.
possibility of new
Tutto
pandemics.
questo
And
rende il
all of
nostro
these
mondo
make our
incerto.
world uncertain.
Il tema della
The
resilienza
theme
umana
of
e
human
della capacità
resilience
di superare
and
le
the ability to
avversità,
overcome
riuscendone
adversity
rinforzati
by
in un'ottica
managing
non solo
to become
individuale,
strengthened
ma
from
anche
them,
di
not only
gruppo
as
e
an
di
individual, but
comunità,
also as a group
diviene
and
centrale per
community.
implementare
This
le
becomes
risorse
something
positive
central in order to implement
di
the positive resources
singoli
of
individui e nazioni.
individuals, communities, and
Comprendere la
nations.
resilienza quindi
So
diventa
understanding
cruciale per
resilience
sviluppare
becomes
strategie di
crucial in order to
intervento
develop
efficaci a
intervention
promuovere il
strategies that are
benessere
effective
individuale e
in
sociale.
promoting individual
A
and
questo
social
scopo
well-being.
abbiamo
So to
riunito
this end,
contributi scientifici
we have been
in una
brought
prospettiva
together scientific
internazionale e
contributions from an
Fondazione
international
Patrizio
perspective,
Paoletti ha organizzato
and
questo
we've decided
evento,
to obviously
Resilienza per il
organize
futuro,
this event,
che trova
Resilience
già
for the
una sua
Future.
prima
And
realizzazione nel
the first
2022,
edition of
in
this was in
piena pandemia.
2022 during the pandemic.
Ecco 5
So here
domande che
are 5
costituiscono i temi
questions
di
that
questa
constitute
tavola
the key
rotonda
themes
e che
of
sono uno
this
stimolo alla
round table. They are a
riflessione e
stimulus
alla
for reflection,
condivisione
for
degli
sharing,
interventi che
for the
voi
interventions that
generosamente avete
you
voluto
have
offrire.
generously offered.
Quali innovazioni nello
So
studio
what
della resilienza
innovations in the study of
e quali
resilience,
modelli
and
sulla
what
resilienza
models
in
on
ottica
resilience are there from a
sistemica
systemic
e
and
multidisciplinare?
multidisciplinary perspective?
Quali sono i costrutti
What are the
correlati alla
constructs
resilienza
related to
psicologica?
psychological
Quali le
resilience?
procedure di
And
valutazione
what
per la
are the
resilienza?
assessment procedures for
Quali
resilience?
interventi per potenziare
What
individui e
interventions
comunità
are there in
di
order to
fronte alle
empower
sfide del
individuals
periodo
and communities in
post-pandemico,
face
degli
of the
eventi
challenges
traumatici e dei
post-pandemic
cicli di
period,
vita?
traumatic events, and
E
also throughout
infine,
the life cycle? And
come
in
lo
the end,
sviluppo delle
how can the
tecnologie e
development
dell'intelligenza
of technologies
artificiale
and
può
artificial
aiutarci
intelligence
in
help
questo?
us in this?
In questa seconda
In this
edizione
second
voglio
edition,
ricordare che la
I would
tavola
like to
rotonda si
remind us all that
inserisce
this
all'interno
roundtable is
degli
part
eventi
of
scientifici di
the
ICONS,
scientific events of
conferenza
ICONS, the
internazionale sulla
International Conference
neurofisiologia del
on the
silenzio.
Neurophysiology of
L'evento di oggi
Silence.
conclude
And
3
today's event
momenti
concludes 3
importanti:
key
silenzio, pace e
conferences on
resilienza.
silence, peace, and
Si è trattato di un vero
resilience.
e proprio
So it has
summit
really
tra
become a true
psicologi e
summit between
neuroscienziati
psychologists and
per la ricerca sul
neuroscientists
silenzio, la pace
for
e la
research on
resilienza nella
silence,
salute
peace,
globale.
and resilience
Potete
in
trovare
global health. And you
informazioni
can
su
find more
questo
information about
particolare
this important
evento
initiative,
internazionale
international initiative that
coordinato
has
dalla
coordinated
dottoressa
by
Tal Dotan Bensoussan,
Professor Tal
direttore
Dotan
dell'Istituto di
Bensoussan,
ricerca
the
RINED,
director of the RINED
con
Institute.
l'augurio che
You can find more
possiate
information on this on our
partecipare
website.
anche a questa
We
importante
also hope
iniziativa.
that you can participate further in this initiative.
Ecco, vado alla
So
chiusura di questo
now
mio
I'm
breve
coming towards the
incipit
close of
ai
this
lavori
brief
di questa tavola
introduction of mine.
rotonda.
before
Vorrei
starting this
invitare tutti
roundtable. So I
noi
would
a
like to invite
cominciare
all of us
insieme
to
a questo
approach
speciale momento
this
di
special time of
condivisione
sharing
con un
together
ascolto generoso e pieno di
with a
gratitudine.
generous and
Siamo qui per
gratitude-filled listening.
ascoltarci
So we are here
reciprocamente
to
in
listen to
maniera
each other
attiva,
in an
curiosa,
active and
alla
curious
ricerca di
way,
un incontro, di
seeking
un
a
confronto
constructive encounter
costruttivo,
and
orientato a
discussion
far vivere
oriented to bringing to
consapevolezze
life
provenienti da
awareness
diverse
from different
discipline.
disciplines
L'occasione è davvero
and different
ricca,
research
quindi,
experiences. So
per
it is really
contaminarci e
a
crescere
very rich
insieme.
opportunity in order to contaminate
Grazie
each
ancora
other
per
and
aver
grow
accolto questo
together. So
invito.
thank you once again for accepting this invitation. Move on to the second
Professor
speaker in
Bozkurt,
this section
Aras
of the day,
Bozkurt da
Aras
Turchia.
Bozkurt from Turkey,
In particolare voglio fare
Turkey,
un saluto
who
da
I would like very
dalla
much
Fondazione al
to
professor
thank
Bozkurt, voglio
Professor
ricordarlo
Bozkurt
con
on behalf of all of the
l'Università
foundation, because
Anadolu
with the
University
Anadolu
abbiamo
University we
collaborato
collaborated
proprio grazie alla tavola
thanks to the
rotonda di
round
2 anni
table of
fa.
2 years
Questa
ago.
conoscenza ci ha
This
permesso, quando
meeting
c'è
allowed
stato
us, when
il terremoto in
there was
Turchia,
the
di poter recentemente di
earthquake in
poter
Turkey, to be
davvero
able
collaborare
to work
insieme. È
together.
stato
And
veramente
so thank you.
importante,
It was
quindi
very
un carissimo
important.
saluto da tutto lo
So a
staff
very dear
di
welcome from
Fondazione
all
che
of
ha
the staff of
collaborato
the Polity Foundation
con
who've
lo
worked
staff del dottor
with
Bozkurt.
your Dr. Bot's staff.
Aras Bozkurt è
Aras
ricercatore e
Bozkurt
membro
is
di
a researcher and
facoltà
faculty member
presso
at
l'Università di Anadolu
Anadolu University
University in
in Turkey,
Turchia con un master e
with
un
a master's and
dottorato
doctoral
in
degree in
educazione a distanza.
long
Il
distance
lavoro del dottor
education. Dr.
Bozkurt
Bozkurt's
si
work
concentra su
focuses
studi
on
empirici
empirical
in
studies
aree quali
in
l'educazione a
areas such as
distanza,
distance learning,
l'apprendimento
online
online,
learning,
l'apprendimento in rete e la
networked
tecnologia
learning, and
educativa.
educational
Gli
technology.
studi del
Dr.
dottor
Bozkurt's
Bozkurt
studies
riguardano
also
anche
cover the
l'integrazione delle
integration of
tecnologie di
artificial
intelligenza
intelligence
artificiale nei
technologies
processi
in
educativi,
educational
nell'asse
processes, in the
interazione
axis of
uomo-macchina. La
human-computer
sua
interaction.
dedizione
His
al
dedication
progresso
to
del
the
settore si
advancement
riflette
of the
nei
field
suoi
is
ruoli
reflected in his
editoriali come
editorial
capo
roles as the
direttore di Open
editor-in-chief
Praxis
at
e Asia
Open
Journal
Praxis
of
and the
Distance
Asian Journal of
Education,
Distance Education,
nonché nei suoi
as
ruoli
well
come
as in his
redattore
roles as an associate
associato
editor
per riviste
for
prestigiose
prestigious
come
journals
Higher
such as Higher
Education
Education
Research
Research
and
and Development,
Development, Online
Online
Learning,
Learning,
e-Learning
eLearn Magazine,
Magazine e
and
Computer
Computer
Application
Applications
in
in
Engineering
Engineering
Education.
Education.
Ecco, lascio la parola
So
al
now I'm going to pass
Aras
over
Bozkurt
to
con
Professor
il
Aras
titolo del suo
Bozkurt with the title
intervento,
of
La
his
resilienza in
speech,
un periodo di
Resilience
crescente
in a period
interazione
of
uomo-intelligenze
growing interaction
artificiali.
between the man and artificial intelligence. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Indeed, it's a pleasure for me to be a part of this roundtable again in the 2024 edition. Let me share my screen. All right. I assume that you see my screen. You already introduced me, but let me briefly talk about myself. I am Aras Bozkurt, an associate professor of education technology and online learning, and today I will make a presentation entitled Resilience in a Time of Increasing Human Generative AI Interaction. Resilience is generally understood as capacity to adapt and recover in challenging situations. However, in the context of rapid technological developments, this concept takes on new meanings. As human generative AI interactions become more common and more integral to our lives, the way we build and sustain resilience is also shifting. As generative AI technologies evolve, we are now witnessing increased human-machine interactions, from chatbots offering support to algorithms assisting in decision-making. These technologies are embedded into various aspects of our lives. But these interactions raise essential questions. What is the impact on our psychological well-being, and how do we maintain human connection in this evolving relationship with technology? These are the questions that must guide us as we integrate AI into educational and other social settings. One of the critical areas to consider is how AI integration affects our emotional resilience. Generative AI can provide simulated companionship and problem-solving support, which may be beneficial in times of crisis, or isolation. But relying too heavily on AI poses risks to our identity and autonomy. For example, how does overdependence on AI affect our self-efficacy? And to what extent does AI influence the way we perceive ourselves as independent and capable human beings? These are central questions in the context of AI-based resilience. A cornerstone of resilience in human-GenAI interaction is trust. If AI-generated insights and support are to be genuinely beneficial, humans must have confidence in their accuracy and reliability. But trust is not only about reliability, it is about transparency. Users need to understand how AI arrives at its conclusions, and educators need to build students' critical thinking and AI literacy to ensure ethical and accountable AI use. In other words, trust in AI requires both technical and ethical literacy. In education, human-AI collaboration presents exciting opportunities, but it is critical to strike the right balance. AI can help students refine their critical thinking, support personalized learning, and offer valuable feedback. However, we must not lose sight of the importance of human-to-human interaction. While AI can enhance learning, it should never replace the fundamental human connection that's vital for psychological and emotional well-being. Educators in this regard play a critical role here by guiding and moderating these interactions. To fully leverage the potential of generative AI in fostering resilience, we need to develop targeted interventions. These could involve AI-driven tools that help students and educators reflect, self-regulate, and adapt to challenges. But there is another key consideration, which is cultural sensitivity. People from different backgrounds may respond differently to AI interventions, and educators need to be aware of these differences to ensure inclusive practices. This attention to cultural context is critical in promoting resilience through AI. As I mentioned, digital literacy is critical, and digital literacy is foundational to resilience in an AI-driven world. But beyond digital skills, users also need AI-specific competencies. This includes critical thinking and prompt engineering, the ability to frame effective questions and critically engage with AI-generated responses. But equipping students and educators with these skills, we can foster resilience against misinformation, biases, and over-reliance on technology. While generative AI offers significant benefits, we must also consider its long-term cognitive impacts. For instance, how does relying on AI affect students' memory retention, creativity, and independent problem-solving skills? It's really crucial to find a balance between AI-assisted learning and self-efficacy to prevent over-reliance. Our goal should be to use AI as a supportive scaffold that encourages independent thinking rather than creating dependency. To wrap up, resilience in human generative AI interaction is a double-edged sword. On one hand, AI offers new avenues for supporting psychological resilience, adaptive learning, and social engagement. On the other hand, over-reliance on AI can lead to challenges in identity, autonomy, and critical thinking. It is therefore essential to approach AI integration thoughtfully by prioritizing human well-being, trust, and accountability. By doing so, we can harness the power of AI to build resilience in a time of increasing uncertainty. Thank you for the opportunity. I tried to provide a different perspective, especially in a time of generative AI, when there are hot debates on this topic. Hopefully, these ideas would be thought-provoking.
Davvero grazie, professor Aras Bozkurt ci ha
Thank you
quindi
so much,
fatto
Professor
conoscere, ci ha
Bozkurt.
evidenziato qualcosa
You
che è
helped us
attualissimo. Noi già siamo
understand
immersi
new issues.
nello
You really
sviluppo
highlighted
dell'intelligenza
highly
artificiale, già
topical
tantissimi la utilizzano e questo focus
ideas.
particolare sui rischi
Many
e
of
le
us are
opportunità
still relying a
rispetto
lot
alla
on
resilienza lo
artificial
trovo
intelligence. You
particolarmente
focused on the risks
interessante,
and the
evidenziando
opportunities
le parole
vis-a-vis
chiave sulla
resilience.
fiducia,
That was
la
particularly
responsabilità e lo
interesting.
sviluppo del pensiero
You
critico,
mentioned
che
trust, the
davvero
sense
è una delle
of
qualità per promuovere la resilienza, anche in questa nuova
responsibility,
interazione di questo
and
momento storico.
you mentioned how important
Interessantissimo.
it is when we
Bene,
want to
siamo
promote
arrivati,
resilience,
devo dire,
particularly
anche
at
in
this
modo molto
difficult
veloce, perché
times.
evidentemente
Well,
questi interventi
we
sono
are
davvero molto
rapidly moving
interessanti, hanno
on
catturato la nostra
through the
attenzione
agenda.
e
Indeed, we have
ci
listened to
apprestiamo
very
alla
interesting
successiva
presentations that
parte e
captivated
ultima
us,
parte
and
della
we will
tavola
be moving on to
rotonda
the last
sulla
session
resilienza per
of
il
this
futuro,
roundtable
con degli
on
interessantissimi
resilience. And we will
interventi
have very
da
interesting
parte della
presentations.
dottoressa
We will
Sherry
give the floor
Handy,
to
Caltrina
Professor
Gelmendi,
Kaltrina
Golnaz da
Gelmendi,
Bibnia e
Shari
l'ultimo
Hambi,
intervento con la
Golnaz
dottoressa
Tabibnia, and we
Taldotan
will finish off
Bensoussan.
with
E
Professor Tal
poi vi ricordo
Dotan
di
Ben
rimanere
Susan. And
connessi, che c'è
finally,
questo
we will
momento
have a
prezioso,
really
un
valuable
gioco che faremo insieme sui flash
session
comments,
with
quindi
some
un
flash
momento per
comments.
la
This will be an
condivisione su
opportunity to
alcune idee,
further
insight
discuss
che
ideas
abbiamo
and
avuto e stiamo
insights
avendo dalla condivisione generosa di
that
i
we
nostri
are
contributi.
getting
Eccoci,
from our.
grazie Tal di averci dato
So
già
thank you,
una
Tal, for having
prospettiva,
already given
ma
us
a
a
quanto pare
perspective.
direi che molto di più
I would say also
rispetto
much
alla
more
prima
than
tavola
in the first
c'è
roundtable. There
una
is this
maggiore
greater
armonizzazione, come se veramente il tempo fosse
harmonization, as though
maturo
times were
per
really
fare un salto. Abbiamo
mature
fatto
for us to make
la prima
a
tavola della
jump forwards
resilienza in un
together. And
momento
the first
particolarissimo, eravamo
roundtable
in
was a
piena
very
pandemia e
particular
davvero
time in the middle of the
ci
pandemic. And
chiedevamo
so
che
we were
cosa
asking
sta
ourselves, but what is
accadendo,
going
come
on? How
possiamo,
can
che cosa
we,
vuol dire la
what does it mean? What
resilienza? È
does
cambiato
resilience mean?
tutto,
Everything has suddenly
è cambiato il
changed
nostro modo
in
di
our
sentire, di
scenario.
vedere, di
Way of thinking, of
relazionarci.
relating to each other has
Ed è
changed.
stato
And
davvero una
it was really a
scintilla che
spark
è
that
nata dal desiderio
was
reale di
born from a
ascoltare cosa
real
stava
desire to
accadendo in
listen to
altre
what was
parti
going
del
on in different
mondo.
parts of the world.
Sembra che
So it
oggi
seems as though today
siamo in qualche
we,
modo
in
più
some way,
maturi per
we're
poter fare un
more mature. It's a more
passaggio
mature moment
e
for us to make a
riprenderei
step
e
forward. And I would
chiudendo questo
close
bellissimo
this
momento
wonderful
insieme
moment
con
together
una frase di
with a
Patrizio
phrase
Pauletti
of
con cui ha
Patrizio Poletti
iniziato
that
questa
this
conferenza
conference
dicendo
began
che
with, which
la
was saying that
resilienza è
resilience
relazione.
is relationship.
E con
And
questa
so with
idea
this idea,
così
such a
forte,
strong
sono
idea,
certa che
I'm
già
certain that
domani
already
saremo
tomorrow we will
diversi,
be
già
different. We're
contaminati
already been
dalle
contaminated
idee di
by the
ciascuno di
ideas
noi.
of each of us. And so
Davvero
really,
grazie,
thank you very much.
grazie e a
And we'll see you
prestissimo.
very soon.
Buon lavoro a tutti.
Good work to
Buona
everyone.
vita.
Have a good life. Bye-bye.